Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Kamusta? Malamang ngayon ay nakapagsagot na ang marami sa inyo at nakapag-umpisa na ng ating psychological first aid modules. Ngayong araw ay malapit-lapit na tayo matapos dahil natapos na po natin ang kalahati ng ating psychological first aid module. Nung nakaraang araw ay na-discuss po natin ang validating and normalizing feelings, kung saan we identify the feelings or emotions you have experienced, and on Module 2, we reframed the negative thoughts that you had. Nagkaroon din tayo ng calming down exercise wherein we help you to stay focused and separate you from distracting thoughts. Now, for Module 3, we're going to identify and address your needs naman. So, ano nga ba ang ating Module 3? Let's start. For the objectives of this module, by the end of this session, you should be able to identify one's current needs and those of one's family. So, kailangan nating identify kung ano ang inyong mga pangangailangan at ang mga pangangailangan na rin ng inyong pamilya. Number 2 is become aware of the various institutions, departments, and centers present within the school environment or the immediate community. And third one is to take note of the important numbers and information regarding who to approach for their needs. What are the materials needed for this module? Number 1 is the list of emergency contact numbers. This will be provided by your teacher, or you could ask from your barangay officials through maybe call kasi bawal pong lumabas ang mga bata. Pwede din naman kung may kapitbahay tayo na nagtatrabaho sa barangay, ay maaari nating itanong kung sila ay mapapadaan sa ating bahay. Maaari din natin itong i-research online. Kung meron tayong data, pwede natin itong mahanap sa Facebook, sa mga page ng ating local government o ating mga barangay. Maaari din natin itong i-Google. Second material ay ang list of needs. Ito yung mga pangailangan o gamit na kailangan natin nitong pandemya o magkaroon ng mga disasters such as bagyo, pagbaha, at iba pa. At malalaman din natin kung paano to i-access maya-maya. Of course, you also need your pen and paper for answering the questions in this module and the self-learning module. So, paalala na naman po, ito po ay sasagutan sa one whole sheet of paper. Bawal po ang yellow pad, one whole sheet of paper, yung puti po. At ipapasa natin to kasama ng mga module pagkaraan ng 2 linggo. We go on now to activity 1. Saan ka pupunta? So, ito ay isang question o isang tanong na nagnanais malaman kung gaano mo kaalam ang mga iba't ibang departamento o institusyon na maaari mong malapitan in times or in cases of emergency. Sa panahon ng sakuna o iba pang mga pangyayaring hindi natin inaasahan at kailangan natin ng tulong. For example ay may sunog sa inyong lugar. Sino ba ang inyong tatawagan? Mayroong kailangang isugod sa hospital o may sakit sa inyong pamilya. Kanino ka nga ba lalapit? Ito po ang kabuuang meaning ng tanong na saan ka pupunta. List of emergency contact numbers and information. The list contains numbers, names, and addresses of certain government and non-governmental offices that we may all approach in order to have our family's needs addressed. You can add other emergency contact information to this list. So, hindi po limitado ang ating table para sa mga nandito lamang. So you can add other emergency contact numbers that you may need in the future. Pagkatapos nyo pong fill upan ito sa inyong mga one whole sheet of paper, nais kong kumuha kayo ng coupon or anumang papel na maaari nyong isulat muli ang mga iba't ibang emergency contact numbers na nailagay nyo dito sa ating form. At idikit nyo ito sa parte o lugar ng inyong bahay kung saan madali ito makikita. Lalo na kung may sakuna o may pangyayaring hindi natin inaasahan. Maaari nyo itong isulat ng malalaking letra upang mabasa ito agad. Maaari nyo din itong ilagay sa illustration board at takpan ng plastic cover upang hindi po siya madaling maluma o madaling mabura kung sakaling ito ay mabasa. Magiging matibay po siya. We have here Barangay Health Office, Barangay Disaster Team, DSWD Office, Hospital, Psychologist or Social Worker, COVID Screening Center, and your school. So, the second column is for contact numbers and address, and the third column is the name of the person. So, for our barangay hanggang sa ating DSWD office, maaari natin itong maitanong sa barangay hall o sa mga barangay officials na maaaring dumaan sa inyong bahay. O kung may kapitbahay kayo na nagtatrabaho sa barangay hall, maaari nyo itong itanong sa kanila. Oops! Reminders! Please ensure social distancing and wearing a face mask and face shield for our own safety. Bawal lumabas ang mga menor de edad at ang ating mga senior citizen, ang mga high risk, ang mga buntis. Maaari nating itong isagawa kung medyo maluwag na or medyo safe ang ating lugar. Di naman po natin to kailangan ilagay agad. So for our hospital, may iba't ibang pampribado at pampubliko tayong mga ospital sa ating syudad. Maaari natin itong mahanap sa Facebook o sa kanilang mga official website. For our psychologist or social worker, maaari din natin itong itanong sa ating barangay. And for COVID Screening Center, maaari din itong maitanong sa barangay. For our school, sino nga ba ang maaari nating tawagan in case of emergency? We have our immediate contact person, which shall be your advisor. Kung sakaling may masamang pangyayari sa inyong bahay at hindi nyo matawagan ang iba pang tao dito, maaari tayong tulungan ng ating mga guro na ilapit sa mga kinauukulan o sa mga institusyon na maaaring talagang makapagbigay ng tulong sa atin. And our DRRM or our Disaster Risk Reduction Management focal person po is si Ma'am Patrice A. Flores. Ako po yun. Maaari nyo pong i-report ang mga sakunang nangyari. For example po, may earthquake, may lindol. Pwede po nating i-report kung ano yung mga pinsala o mga kagamitang nawala o aksidenteng naganap nung time na yon. Pwede rin po kayong mag-reach out sa akin. For example, ay may sunog na malapit sa inyong lugar, ay pwede po nating mailapit yan agad-agad sa Bureau of Fire Protection. At kung sakali naman po na naganap na ang sakuna o nangyari na po, for example, ang isang disaster tulad ng lindol, we have here the list of common needs of survivors after a disaster or pandemic. In general, we need to find missing family members para po mabigyan sila ng medical assistance sa mga nasaktan magkaroon ng access to the list of casualties. Maaari po nating malaman kung ano ang mga pinsalang naidulot ng disaster and to know how many were affected, to provide proper burial facilities for those who have passed on. Second, we need food and water, which is a basic need. To provide water line to homes, to gain access to source of water for multiple purposes, food for X number of days. Hindi po natin alam kung ilang days pa bago tayo makabalik sa dati. So, nakalagay po dyan ng X. So, for family goods, we have blankets, clothes, beddings, tarp, flashlights, storage boxes where we can store our food and water, and other materials or important documents that we have. Our underwater kits, meron po tayong bota, kapote, and other things that could protect us from flood. Maprotektahan tayo laban sa mga dangers sa paglusong natin sa baha o sa tuwing may bagyo. For our dignity kits naman, what is dignity kit? Itong dignity kit ay naglalaman ng mga bagay-bagay na importante o mahalaga lalo na sa mga kababaihan. Ito po yung ating sanitary pad, napkin, at mga iba't iba pa pong mahalagang bagay or hygiene kit, kumbaga. So we have disinfectants or alcohol, which is very important talaga for our cleanliness and safety protection from this virus. We have fuel for vehicle, gas for cooking, and for kerosene lamps. And shelter, temporary shelter, building materials to be used for repairs. So here naman po, we have the list of common needs during a pandemic and how to access them. So for our basic needs such as food and water, we receive these food and water supplies in the form of ayuda from our barangay level, city mayor and DSWD or Department of Social Welfare Development. So ito po yung ating relief goods na tinatawag. Is your family involved in selling some products or goods? They too need to get permits to travel and to sell their basic goods and commodities. They need to go to the barangay center to issue the permit. Selling of products and goods. And the third one, if you need to travel within your area of vicinity, go to your barangay center and ask for permission to go to the grocery store, marketplace, supermarket, or pharmacy store. A quarantine pass is issued by your barangay. Wearing face masks is always needed. So transportation outside your city or municipality, go to your barangay center to get a travel pass. So this will allow you, which is hindi naman pwede dahil mga estudyante po kayo, either your mga parents or other kamag-anak nyo na magta-travel outside our city and our province. So, to allow you to pass major thoroughfares, make sure you are COVID-free para po maiwasan natin ang pag-spread ng virus at makatulong po tayo na mabawasan po ang kaso or active cases sa iba't ibang lugar at para matapos na rin po ang pandemyang ito. Make sure also that you wear your face mask and they also provide you with the vehicles. For cash assistance or social amelioration program or also known as SAP, the DSWD or Department of Social Welfare and Development releases cash amounts in 3 tranches to poor but deserving families. So you need to contact your local DSWD. Cash assistance to OFW. The overseas foreign workers or OFW and workers who have been displaced may avail of government cash aid by Department of Labor and Employment. So for our next activity, which is the needs form, we have here three columns: the family, relative, friend, and the current immediate need. For the third column naman po is refer to, or who can you refer this need to. On the first column, list down all the members of the family whom you live with. Ililista po natin lahat ng mga pangalan ng taong kasama natin sa bahay, at sa second naman po, the current immediate need that we cannot address as of the moment. And the third column is kanino nyo ba maire-refer ang pangangailangan na to? So, kailangan ni Lolong magpa-check up o ni Lolang magpa-check up dahil may nararamdaman sila na hindi maganda sa kanilang health or may komplikasyon silang nararamdaman na dulot ng kanilang sakit at katandaan. So, they need check up. Ano ba yung sakit nilang ito? Ano ba yung nararamdaman nila? Sa buto ba? Sa pandinig ba? Sa paghinga? Or sa tiyan? Or kung anong sakit na nararamdaman nila? May sugat ba? May infection? And the third column, we can refer to a specialist. So, if you do not know anyone who can help that person, who can help our lolo or lola, just leave it blank first. So for our analysis part, why do you think that it's important for all of you to learn about whom you can go to for your own needs and the needs of your family? Bakit nga ba mahalaga na alam natin kung kanino tayo lalapit o sino-sino, ano-ano ang mga institusyon, tao na maaari nating malapitan o mahingian ng tulong upang ma-address natin ang mga pangangailangan ng ating pamilya. You can screenshot this part of the video for you to answer it later on. Ito po ay mahanap din naman sa ating self-learning module, which is on page 51 of the module. So for our abstraction, think about news reports that showed how at times even these linkages could not do their responsibilities efficiently. Kay may mga naaalala ba kayong news report o mga pangyayari na hindi na address ng mga institution na ito, itong mga linkages na ito, hindi nila na isagawa ang kanilang responsibility efficiently. And second one, why do you think these groups had a hard time? Ano ba sa tingin niyo yung dahilan kung bakit hindi nila naisagawa efficiently ang kanilang mga responsibility? Bakit nga ba hindi sila nakaresponde agad nung may sunog? Maaari bang may sunog din sa kabila o karatig bayan at kokonti ang mga tao na maaaring rumisponde agad sa inyong lugar? Maaari pong maging dahilan yon. And can you also recall some great or good stories about how other groups were able to help you very well? And before we end this module 3, I just want to leave this message by Benjamin Franklin. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. So, that's all for today. This is the Gupan City National High School Senior High School. I am Miss Patrice A. Flores, and that is Module 3 of the Psychological First Aid. Thank you and God bless, and see you again next session.